Oklahoma Archery. Everything archery based out of Oklahoma for Oklahoma. Let's get it started. Hello, everybody. I'm David Bosca, and this is the Oklahoma Archery Podcast. And we're going to do something really special on this podcast. We're going to talk about what is the best table grapes to make homemade wine. Okay, all right, maybe not. Maybe not. Neil, go ahead.
Hey, muscadine is the answer to that question. Moving on to arrow flinging, I'm Nickel Neil Cooley, and we've got Rick Archer with us today, fresh off a win at the Southwest Shootout in Paris, Texas. How you doing, Rick?
Doing good. How you guys?
Good. Congratulations, first off.
Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, you had a 14 and 16 up between the 2 days.
Yes, I did. I had a great weekend finally.
Heck gum. You ever get worn out beating Scott Shields that much?
Hey, them guys keep pushing me. That's what keeps driving me.
Yeah, it's a good group, and I think they were one of the few classes that had more than 10 people in it down there. So they were. I mean, the super senior known class is getting pretty deep. It was K40, K45, super senior known, super senior pins, I think, and a couple others, 145 that had 10 or more in there. And you just keep scrolling down the list, and it's like, man, where's the end of this thing?
Right. Yeah, exactly. We got a good bunch for sure.
It means we got good medical insurance in our world.
There you go.
$1 million policy with the ASA, so you feel comfortable to drop dead on the course at any time. Don't do it, but if it's gonna happen, it's a hell of a place to go.
We get our prescriptions filled.
Yeah, not a better place to go is what I say. They're the tree stand, one or the other.
Oh yeah, that's we got a little lake in the backyard, and the insurance policy. The old HOA president said, "Yeah, if I ever die, my wife's going to push me off the back deck just to cash in on that additional policy. So feel free to tell your wife to do the same." And I was like, "All right, glad to know I'm going first. That's the plan."
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh man! So let's do a little tournament recap. What would you think about the Paris Am as an event? How does it stack up to a Pro-Am? And what was your experience at it?
Well, Paris has always been a great place to shoot. I've always really enjoyed it. I think I've missed one since they've started doing the Am, and that was last year, of course, with being out with a little health issue. But for people to go down there and find out really what a Pro-Am would be like, it's an excellent place for that. It's just a little bit smaller scale, really, is the only difference between that and a Pro-Am.
Yeah.
How many times have you been down there to shoot it, Rick?
What's it been now? 5 years, I think they've been doing it, Neil, if I remember right.
I think so.
Of course, I shot it prior to that when it was a Pro-Am, several times before they moved it to Minden, Louisiana. But I've only missed one of the Am-Ams, and that wasn't by choice, of course.
Was that last year when you was kind of put away by
Yeah, they wanted to open me up and play with my heart a little bit last year, so
just a little bit.
Yeah. Exactly.
At least you wasn't awake for any of it. So
no, thankfully I wasn't.
Yeah,
been on the cover trail ever since. So, but I'm finally got there. I think I finally got all my strength back and starting to show in my shooting. So that's a good thing.
It was a great weekend. I think the last year that they did it as a Pro-Am was the year before I started shooting. So since I've joined the ASA, it's always been the Am. I never got to see it down there as a Pro-Am, but I know they packed the place out. They were shooting from sun up till sundown, trying to get everybody's round shot. And the Lamar County Chamber of Commerce is so good at hosting archery events, and they love seeing us show up that they just roll out the red carpet for us. And I don't think you really understand unless you've gone to one how good they treat us down there. I mean, they give us the porta potties, the water, the security, hotels. Every gas station and hotel has a welcome archer sign out front. So
everybody down there is welcoming and glad you're there, and it's just a great community.
Yeah, big shout out.
So where from the town of Paris is it actually held?
At the Love Civic Center.
Yeah.
Which is northeast, southwest?
Just south of town. I mean, It's not.
Yeah.
Most of the hotels, it's less than 10 minutes. You're there. I mean, it's right south edge of town.
Okay.
You get basically there's a big loop right here, and it's right off the side. And no matter where you're going, you get on the loop, you get off the loop, and you're there.
Right.
So it seems like it goes in a big circle. I know there's more to Paris that I haven't seen, but everywhere. I mean, the Archers for Christ Range is on one side, the Civic Center is on the other side. All the hotels are on the third side of that circle. And you drive around 2 streets, 1 stop sign, get on the loop, get off the loop, and you're there. And you're not on it for more than 1.5 miles. So
everything's real handy down there for sure.
Yeah. We're hoping that they keep it going next year. Shout out to Brad and Tara for putting that on year after year. The ASA wanted to keep doing it. It was back when Mike Terrell was still in charge of stuff. And he said, you're going to keep running it here, even if it's not a pro-am. So, they took that and they ran with it. And I like to mess with Brad every time I see him, but it's not even any fun Sunday. He's so worn out. It's just like, it's just like kicking a dead body. So
definitely hats off to them for putting up with us and all the work everybody puts into it. That's a pretty big chore.
Oh yeah.
Rick, with the courses set up that they are down there, you said you shot at both when it was pro-am and am, and you turned in a great score this year. What do you think it is about the courses that are agreeing with your shot?
Well, I don't know so much with the courses, Dave. I'm pretty fortunate. Like we started talking about earlier about my eyesight. I still see pretty good with the setup I have right now. That course this past weekend might have been a little bit softer than the big shoots. I mean, I'm just talking by a little bit. The lanes were good and wide. You didn't have any trash. There wasn't a whole lot of sunlight. Had some cloud cover and everything, but you were still able to see something on the target. For me, anyway, I could. Like I said, I've got a good setup I'm running right now, and with scopes and glasses and everything, and it's just really working. But as far as different setup from course to course on that particular course, what I boils down to is I've been shooting good leading up to it, and I just really been working on being more aggressive. And by that, I don't mean really in the shot, but by aiming. Is instead of shooting a few 12s and then laying up, easy and just shooting in the 10s, I just stayed gunning. And I think that's really was my best deal. And also, I've told some of the other guys, Scott and guys I shoot with, is one of them weekends that we all have them that we shoot around or whatever, and we're just, man, if I would have had an inch, I would have had 6 more 12s if I could divide that inch up. We were just an 1/8 out or something like that. Well, this weekend, all of those were in.
Oh, yeah. So that one that we dream about happened.
Right, exactly. And that's pretty much what it was. I was shooting good, of course, but it was just one of those great weekends.
Okay.
Steve Wingo calls it getting sticky.
Yeah.
Scott Shields described it as the salt on the margarita rim. You're just touching it all the way around.
Scott all day was whining about my 25s. So
he wants to shoot those 25s so bad.
Who was this?
Scott Shields.
Oh,
we're both shooting the same bow, but then he's shooting the 23s, and I actually tried the 23s after I shot well in Foley like a dummy, but we all do things. But come home after shooting 14 up down there and changed my whole setup, arrows and everything, But anyway, long story short, my bow didn't like the 23s, and he's got the exact same bow, and we're almost same draw length and everything, and he can't get the 25s to shoot in his.
Wow. Yeah. See, I'm shooting 25s in mine, and it's the heavier tip, but I did last weekend take my white bow out, and I thought, well, I'm going to set that up for 25s. but for indoors, and I started putting them together with 120 tips, and I like them. I'm half thinking that I might try in 3D, but I don't really know. I hate to do anything right now.
Well, I'm running 140s in the front of mine, so
yeah,
they're slow, but I don't care. That little thing in my hand that clicks tells me how far it is. I'm not worried
That's
about
right.
speed.
That's right.
Just make a good shot. That's all I need to do.
Yep. Yep.
It's finding that perfect happy medium of getting the arrow to spine the right way, but also getting it gone quick enough is
Right.
what I've kind of, I've played with 27s. I've never tried the 25s, and I just keep going back to the 23s. They work good. And if I make the shot, I know they're going to hit.
Right. Yep, definitely. I made a little change on them here. Maybe a month ago, I went to a little bit longer or a bigger fletch, and just trying to get just a little bit more forgiveness out of those arrows, and it really, really did help.
What'd you go to?
The Pro Fletch 2.5s.
Yep.
I was shooting a 212 flex fletch. And it's just a little bit taller, a little longer, and it's definitely helped.
I had the 3.0 Silent Nights.
Yep.
Flex fletch, and I went down to the FFP 250s.
Right.
Yeah. They're just a little bit shorter profile and a little bit shorter, but I've shot them in the wind, and I don't seem to have any issues with them, but I do wish there was a happy medium between the 2.5 FFP height and the FFP.
There's your Silent Nights, and there's your
fletch.
Yeah. So I can't really.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty close. So Dave, you want a Pro 2.75 is what you want.
No, not necessarily. What I went to was the 250s, but they're a lower profile with an FFP style cut.
Gotcha.
The FFP are just a lower profile. They look like the a shield cut / parabolic indoor type vein.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I got some right here, but I don't have any on a shaft.
Well, they work better once you glue them on, Dave.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
If I could get those to fly out of that 27, man, I'll tell you what.
I never tried the 27s. I was kidding with Scott. One of the other guys in our group we were shooting with. He got to talking about the 27s, and Scott was giving me so much grief about my 25s. I said, well, heck, I might just try some of them 27s next time.
I told him yesterday, I was like, why don't you, if it's a known distance, why don't you skip the 25s and go straight to the 27s? He goes, just grumbled about, yeah, I don't know. 23 has done everything I need it to. I just rather just not miss.
23, awesome arrow.
Here's the
tournaments.
250s.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. A little
they're considerably shorter than the FFP 250s.
Right.
But yeah.
You probably shooting them in a 4 fletch, Dave?
I do. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I'm shooting them in a 4 fletch setup.
Well,
so I feel like I'm getting enough vein out there, but I'm getting it with the 4, even though they're shorter, and they're a ton lighter than them other ones.
Right.
And I had the 3-inch Silent Nights.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are a ton shorter than them and a ton lighter. So it changed it.
Right.
That's what I like about my fletches. They're a lot lighter than your traditional veins out there. I mean, if I want to keep my arrow stiff, I'll go with fletches. If I need to break it down, throw some of them Q2Is on there, 8 or 9 grains a vein. I mean,
right.
It just depends what the arrow needs.
Back in the day, I shot those flex for years. Of course, back then we were shooting the 212 shield cuts.
Yeah.
And I got started shooting these X veins, and then I went to the X3, the boning veins. And they're a great vein. I've had good luck with them. But I just need a bit more steer on that point.
When I had that shoot through riser with that PSE citation, I had to go to a low profile 4 fletch, even though it was 4 inches long. I had to use the Bonning's low profile one. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So Rick, tell us about the rest of your setup. What are you running for 3D this year?
Well, I'm shooting the Elite, the new Victor. Right now, I'm set up at about 58 pounds. Hamsky, limb-driven drop away. Especially archery peep. I'm not shooting a clarifier. I got away from that last year. I picked up I believe it's Clear Choice lens, a 5 power. Mm-hmm. And that lens and my eyeglasses and everything, miraculously, I got to be able to get away from the clarifier. And it has worked outstanding for me. I'm running this Shibai sight, AEP stabilizers, Ultra 25 arrows with, like I said, 140 up front, and Bonnie knob. And speed wise, it's crawling. It's maybe 260, somewhere around in the low 260s.
I say that's pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a speed guy, never have been. You
know,
even way back, Dave, when we shot semi-pro and had to judge, I was running in the 270s at best. And
I believe that's probably what I stayed at then too.
Yeah, but anyway, that Victor is an awesome shooting bow. It's becoming one of my all-time favorites real quick.
What was it like setting up and tuning it out of the box? Where are you running it in the burger hole and everything else?
Oh, I run mine just a little bit higher than most people do on the burger hole, just for my hold. I have a tendency to want to have that low hold, aiming at something. And so I'm running it just a little over the middle of the burger hole, bottom of the arrow. I'm running about 7/8 out on the center shot. A lot of people, they're dead set on that 13-16 number. And I tell them all the time, that's a starting point.
Yeah. It's got to make it fit you.
Yeah. Make it fit you. Exactly. Shoot like you want it to shoot. But other than that, no, it's super, super easy bow to tune. I mean, I think I could throw whatever arrow I want on there really and tune the bow as far as that goes. I do spend a lot of time on tuning. I'm not a big paper puncher. I'll shoot it through there to get it close. And then I go to bare shaft and I do my line and I do my walk back and all that. And then I do a lot of group shooting. And, move the rest a little bit here and there and until I find what I like. I also do some creep tuning, torque tuning, and just try to find it where it's most forgiving for me, where if I mess up, it's not going to punish me. That's number one.
It's not fun.
I can mess up with the best of them. But no, it's just I always tell everybody it's an old man's bow. It's easy to shoot. It's easy on the body. And it's got too many adjustments on it for me because I'm always tinkering with it.
Yeah.
It's you can just stand there on the line. Heck, I can change my timing, hold and weight, anything I want. Never have to touch bow press. So.
Is that a draw stop adjustment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a sliding stop, so you can move it anywhere you want it.
I shoot my bows high in the hole, just like what you're talking about.
Right.
And when I pulled that white one out 2 weeks ago to reset it, because I've went back to that index, and I just hadn't shot that one since indoor. So I hadn't stopped and done anything with it. So just in draw length, getting all that set up and outside, I went a little bit lower and I found that I got rid of some of that dipping because I had it above the hole.
Right.
Trying to keep that from dipping.
Yep.
I found that I did better with it just inside the hole. Don't get me wrong, it's not even, but right inside the hole, but tiller tuning with the bottom one backed in more than the top one. I got better results with that than just flat going high in the hole.
Right. Yeah. That's then too, depending on where you're running your timing. I mean, I do a lot of playing with that. I don't know that I've ever shot a bow dead timing.
Yeah.
I play with that and back in the old Hoyt days, all them I ran the top leaving just a little bit early.
The top, huh?
Yeah, all the years I shot the Hoyts.
Yeah,
top leaving early, which is backwards for most people.
I was going to say, yeah.
But that bow for me, that always worked. And in fact, when I got this bow, I started out that way, and then we were butting heads. And finally, I thought, you know what, let's try even. And I went to even and played with that a little bit. And then I'm actually running it the other way now, just to, 30 seconds maybe, leaving early on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's working good for me right now.
Tell people they can run that bottom stop first, and it'll prop that bow up, because you pull into the stop and bring it up from there.
Right.
All the old Hoyts were top cam first on those old spiral cams. That was just the recipe.
Exactly. I ran it as much as a 1/4 inch out on those.
Yeah. Well, whatever you did back then, dude, you had half a dozen guys you shot with, dude. Man, you guys was the crew we hated seeing pulling in the parking lot. Down it, here they come.
Yeah,
Who was your travel buddies back then?
And kicked my butt plenty too, Dave, back then.
Well, we both shot a lot, so I don't know what that's saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who were you traveling with, Rick? Who was the goon squad?
No, back then it was Chris Powell and Blaine Rawson was my running buddies. Yeah. Shot a lot together, spent a lot of time together, and trained together, and back in there during the golden years, I call it. They call them the golden now, but that's not true. But anyway, we were shooting and training. Had another friend, Todd Sorter, that actually had a lease right there that joined the gun club, and he bought a set of targets and had them sitting. I'm talking just north of the gun club.
Yep.
And we were spending anywhere 3-4 days a week out there working, judging, and training, shooting, and doing a lot of it. But that was the good days.
Yeah, those were fun, because
it was a lot easier then. We didn't have to work at it. It didn't seem like near as hard as I do now to stay on top of everything.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And man, we'd go and hit 1 to 2 shoots a weekend, sometimes 3 if they were fairly close.
No doubt. You bet. Yeah. We'd go. Todd wound up buying a Suburban. He had a power washing business, and he bought a Suburban and an enclosed trailer, because there was a group of about 8-9 of us. And sometimes we'd pile in that Suburban and hook up to that trailer. We had a grill in that trailer. We had a bow press, and we would roll in like we was the top dogs. Yep.
I'd rode with y'all one time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think you did, Dave. Couldn't tell you where we went, because gosh,
I couldn't tell you either, but I do remember riding with y'all once.
We went from Atlanta, Georgia to, I remember one we went to come up in Pennsylvania one year, Minnesota, but burned a lot of highway back in them days. Of course,
did you do any of the NABH ones that went out the other way?
Yep.
I thought you did.
Yep. Yeah, sure did. We were, in fact, the first shoot off I was ever in, I can't remember the year. I want to say it was like 99 or 2000, Dave. We shot up at Nebraska. You was there.
Yep.
Wind was blowing 40 mile an hour, no joke.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yep, that was an experience.
Yep, I remember that.
The last tournament I shot a button was that tournament. That tells you anything.
That was it, huh?
That was it. That done me in on the button. That wind.
Oh shoot.
We had some pretty good wind out there in the open for the Red River Shootout. You were shooting the Pinky activated. What was that? Is it Carter?
Carter convertible, and there's a little more to that story, Neil.
Well, fast up.
I started off on that deer, and it had a hole just wallered out in the lower 12, and I'm an upper guy. And I was like, man, I got to shoot at that down there. There's no way. I mean, it's the only thing I had to get to aim at. And I did. I had that Carter release with it. It's a ring finger, third finger, you can set it up either or thumb or ring, which is my hunting release is what it is. And I knew that wind was blowing, so I pulled it out and shot 2 or 3 over in the practice bag. Fast forward to the target, and I draw back, and I punched that thing the first target. Luckily, it went right in that hole. And I put it right back in my pouch, and I got my hinge out for the next 2. I said, that's it.
Had one good arrow with it,
One good arrow, and I had to punch the very first one. Good grief. It's been, 26 years since you shot something like that on a tournament, and you punched the very first one. You drag it out.
That's right.
Yeah, like that's why I don't shoot those.
Yeah. It's tricky. I got through about 6 targets on Friday, five targets, and shot an 8 out low on a 27-yard cougar. And I shot that resistance release the rest of Friday. And it was,
There you go.
we're still getting to know each other. So
I tell people, resistance, hinge, whatever, there's going to be days you're going to take your beatings. It's not your day but in the end, if you hang with the hinge or that resistance, if you're having trouble, in the long run, you're going to come out ahead. And I know Dave hates them.
I dedicated 3 or 4 years hard at it. That's it. Yeah, no, oh my gosh. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. I will say that, but it was my savior because I was ready to quit archery at one point.
Well,
I had so bad.
I'm sure everybody here, I don't know if you ever heard my old story at the Indoor Nationals. Shooting my index, shot so many. I hadn't shot that many misses in 10 tournaments in a row. And
right
when I came home, I laid it down. I told Neil, I called my wife and told him, I said, if I can't learn to shoot a back tension, I am done shooting.
Yep.
I spent 30 days at Blank Bell. I was not moving. 30 days solid. And I remember when I finally stepped back, it was probably about 10 yards. And I pulled back with that back tension. I got to that very first shot. And I pulled up and I went, God almighty. Just my mind knew it was time to aim.
Yeah. Yep. That's bad when you got it with the hinge.
Yeah. It was crazy. So and if you've been in it long enough, you'll go through it.
Oh yeah. That's what I tell people. I said, if you haven't had it, it's coming. Some point. Sooner or later, you're going to get it.
And I feel I am a stronger shooter going through it because when it does creep in, I feel like I know how to get right back out of it. I have managed that mindset and I know what to say. It might take me 1-2 shots to go back to what I got to do, but I can work myself back out of it. Yeah.
That's something I could never do. I never could get out of it. I'll just tell a real quick story. I don't know, Dave may have heard it, but how I got started shooting a hinge was back in the NABH days. We had the championship at Oklahoma City, whatever year that was, early 2000s.
I was going to guess, yeah.
That I just started shooting that year. I started shooting semi-pro, and I was shooting a trigger called the Answer. And I don't think they even make it anymore, but it was an anti-punch. You had to squeeze real slow and easy on it, and it would fire. If you jerked on it, it would lock up. It wouldn't go off. And I was ate up with it so bad that I might lock that thing up 3 times and never let down. You could just put your finger back behind the trigger and push it forward and reset it. And I'd hammer it again. And I was shooting with the guys, and at the time, he was one of the top semi-pros. His wife was the top pro. Her name was Darla Owens. Her husband's name was Stanley Owens. And I happened to be with him the first day at that shoot. And I was struggling with that release. And at the end of the day, he said, hey, Rick, he said, man, I know you love archery. I can tell you're dedicated. He said, if I give you a release, will you learn to shoot it and take it and work with it? Because I was telling him, I said, man, I'm about done. I'm ready to throw in the towel. I said, I just can't get over it. He handed me, at the time, it was a Carter Avenger hinge. He said, if you'll take that and work with it, I'm going to give it to you, but you promise me you'll dedicate and try it. I'll do it. And I'd shot a back tension before. I shot holes in my dad's barn years ago trying it, and I said, never again. So anyway, that was on us back then, I think Saturday. So I was up till midnight Saturday night blind belling, trying to learn that release. And I show up Sunday on the first target, and I pull that thing out. Stanley's like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. I said, what's the matter? He goes, you can't do that quick, Rick. You got to learn that release. And I said, hey, I gave my trigger, my buttons, every other release I had to my buddy at the time, Chris Powell, lived right next to me. And I said, lock these things up. And I said, you told me dedicate. I'm dedicated. This is the only release I'm shooting. And I never shot a button since until the first arrow in that shoot off this weekend.
Wow. That's a great story.
I got started on that. It stayed with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're hunting, you said. That's your hunting release.
No, I don't hunt with that. I do hunt. Yeah, I hunt with that with a button or a trigger, of course. Yeah, I hunted with a hinge too now.
Yeah.
But Blaine and Chris, they still both hunt with a hinge.
Mm-hmm. Blaine did everything with a hinge. I remember watching him years ago. He his process was so precise, identical shot after shot after shot. I wished I knew now how to study someone. Back then, I might have picked up more watching him shoot.
Right. Super smooth. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
A good, outstanding shooter.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
well, your bow there, have you ever tried one of those Accu systems on it?
I have not, Dave. I've got mixed feelings about that. But
well, I bought one. I put it on mine, and it worked. I could see it, but it weighed so much I couldn't take the extra weight.
That's probably what's one of the things I was worried about.
I didn't have any extra weight on the wires. I basically had that comes with a metal where the wire connects into, and I just put that little plastic cap. That's all that I used. But the bracket, everything that it come with was 8 ounces total. And wow. I'm like, oh my God, that's a bunch. Yeah. And I seen this last week, they got one called an Accu Light.
Yeah. I read a little bit on that.
Yeah. And so I was curious if you was running one, and if so, if it was that one.
No.
That's because it did work when I had it, but I just couldn't take the weight of it.
Right. Yeah, that's me. I don't shoot a whole lot of weight on the bow, never have. And at this age, and with the old aches and pains and shoulders and everything else, it's yeah.
I got one right now.
I've got a partial tear in my right that I've had for several years over the old motocross stuff, and it'll reach up and grab my attention every now and again.
Mine got mine yesterday. I was going to try and run up to Bartlesville, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to shoot it all this week, and it might be Monday before I even pick a bow back up, because I really aggravated it yesterday. Yeah.
So the Accu deal, is it steadying your pin? Is that what you're seeing, or what are you seeing?
When I shot it, yes, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's like adding the perfect amount of weight everywhere, and it just kind of slowed it down, versus to where if I was seeing a little of this, because that's how I kind of shot the indoor. My sight, it would do. I don't get much left and right. Most of mine is like this,
right?
And it slowed it down, which gave me more confidence to go through my release.
Sure.
And I just wish it didn't weigh so much.
Right.
Yeah. And so I was just curious. I wished I knew someone that I could ask, what does just that new light system weigh? And I would, if it was reasonable, I could go for 2 to 3 ounces, I bet.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Right.
Because I could rebalance the bars to take care of that.
Sure. Yeah.
Eight's a big jump.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah. I went to that, the bipod mount, the new one that Elite has this year. I added that on where I don't have to mess with on and off and all the thing. Or, last year I shot that AEP one on my Verdict, but it wouldn't fit this bow because it's quite a little lighter. Well, that deal added like almost 6 ounces.
Whew. Yeah.
So I had to get used to that, on the bottom there, pulling on me a little bit. But
that's a lot. I mean,
that's the same as that Matthews brass weight's like 8. I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's
that
eight,
big.
9. Yeah, so it would be like adding that on it. And man, I took those off of my bows immediately because I was like, holy crud, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah. I wish I could hold it. I mean, how that heavy bow sure aims better, but
yeah,
I've tried adding an ounce here, ounce there, just try to build up slowly, and I'm where I'm at. I think I just don't do any good with anything extra. I think I'm running right at 6 up front and only about 12 in the back. So
we're so close. I'm 7 and 11.
Yeah.
That's
about all I can handle anymore. So
and the last setup, I was 15 and 15, or 15 out front and 14 out back. And when I came back and I went to the longer bar and back to this wrist strap, the pressures is totally different. I had to start peeling weight off. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't changed mine all year. I'm at 13 and 19.
I noticed you had some on yours.
It really doesn't feel that bad.
Right.
It's not a heavy bow compared to what some of these guys are shooting, but I'll go a little long in the shot, and if it goes quick, it's good. If I don't get on that trigger pretty soon, it breaks down pretty fast.
Exactly.
So,
right.
That's
what size bars both y'all running?
I'm running 28 and 12.
30 and 12.
Okay.
I've tried 14. I ran 14 on my verdict last year, but on this bow, I don't know. It just didn't settle as good. But the 14 on it is what my 12 did.
I've got a 33 out front, and for the 3D bow, I'm running a 13 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I thought I'd go a little longer, maybe drop a little more weight off the backs, of it, but I don't know. It just didn't aim the same. So
yeah,
I just went back to the 12. My main deal is I can play around with the weight quite a bit, but I've got to have my holding weight up there. If I try to shoot a low holding weight, I cannot hold it.
Define your holding weight. Yeah, what's yours?
Right now I'm running 17. That's the lightest I've shot.
Woo! That's the lightest?
Lightest.
Golly, dude.
Yeah. Used to run 2021, but I can't. I'm down to 17, and that's the lightest I can do.
Wow. Dude, that's a
drop
lot.
down, but it just doesn't work with that hinge. I just can't get it to go. But
yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like I said, I'm drawing right at 58 and holding 17. So
58 holding 17. You're the man of man out there in that senior class, cowboy.
Yeah. I don't believe it or not, I don't even shoot high let off of my hunting bow. Maybe 12, maybe at the lightest on the hunting bow.
Yeah.
I just don't aim that high let off well. It just bounces around everywhere on me.
Yeah.
That's what you load the bars up for.
Well, yeah, at this age though, Neil, you can't do much of that.
Trust me, my hunting bow is heavier this year than ever before. I think it's got 12 on the back and probably 8 on the front, 12 on the back. Yeah, and lugging that thing up and down the mountain was fun this year.
Yeah, I don't even run a side on my hunting bow. I just run the red roll, 10 or 12 out front and let her fly.
Got a little better this year, but I got the detachable quiver. You get up there and you're like this, holding it up. Like, golly, I had to go for the 6-arrow quiver, didn't I?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes off. That's all that thing's on there for, is to get my arrows to the tree.
Yep.
That quiver comes off. But
this is the first year I've run a detachable one, and it was a whole different. I was like, man, this thing shoots a lot better without 4 or 5 arrows on the side of it.
Absolutely, yes. I've played with that over the years too, but of course in the mountains that's a little different story. But
yeah,
you keep them right there with you. But
so, what's your plans for the rest of the year shooting?
Well, we are going to make London. Richard Bradford and his wife travels with us some, and we're going to load up and all go together and go to that one. I'm going to miss the Metropolis shoot. Work's kind of got other plans for me. And then hopefully I'm going to try to go to Coleman if it all works out and the gas prices don't get any higher.
Yeah.
And then, of course, shoot the rest of the state stuff. All of them I can. I only get 2 weekends a month off with my work schedule, so it kind of narrows down what I can make and what I can't. And this year, well, the last 2 years, all the pro-ams, every one of them I work except for Coleman. So I have to take off and use vacation days to make these. Even had to take off vacation days to go to Paris. But thankfully this year I had quite a few saved up.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. Hopefully I can continue this weekend like I had this past weekend. I can take that with me to London. That's what I'm hoping for. I've never shot in London. I've heard how bad it can be, but in the past, I don't know, it seemed like the tougher it is, the better I do. But when you start throwing in heels and stuff like that, and I don't let it get in my head like some people.
I hope you ain't talking to me.
No, Dave.
We've got some good hills in some of these new ranges this year. Bartlesville's a little hilly. We've all been to Tulsa. We've all been to Connor State. Not this weekend, but next weekend is Quinlan. It's the Jip Rock Jeepers course. They've got a big rock crawling place where all these Jeep fellas go. And they have a big event and they mow all the trails and everything. And buddy out there named Dale Ramsey shoots, and he goes, man, if they're going to mow it all and have it all manicured, why don't we just come in right after them and have us a shootout here? And I was like, all right. So we loaded up in the side-by-side and went and took a drive around the little loop there where we're going to set the 20 targets, and you better be ready for that one. Yeah, it's the same weekend as London, so some people are obviously going to miss it, but man, it's going to be fun. I tell you, I mean, if your third axis isn't on, you're going to know it about target 3.
Right. Yep. No, them heels make a big difference. There's no doubt about it.
Out
here where I'm this flat land, we don't get any of that. But
that's why you need a forklift like Dave. We'll put you up on the pallet and let you shoot down, and put the target up on there and let you shoot up at it, and you'll figure out pretty quick if it's dialed in or not.
Right. Yep. No doubt about that.
I was going to probably try and still do Choctaw and Pawnee as the last 2 that I think I'm going to hit.
Yeah, Choctaw. I believe I'm off for that one. I'll definitely make that one.
I haven't shot that one this year, haven't shot that one.
Yeah.
So I'm hitting ones that I think next year I'll be able to go back to, and but like his, I've never shot it, and it's right here in basically 20 minutes, 30 minutes from the house, but I've not ever made it there.
It's always a challenging course. It's just tunnels and dark. So
yeah, it's a no glassing kind of course. You can shoot your arrow, but nobody knows where you're hitting at because it's thick enough down there. It's like, well, if you don't see it land, you're not going to have your group help you out with it at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt about that. I make it up sometimes 2 or 3 times a year just to practice in between if there's nothing going on, but last 2 years, I guess I really hadn't done a whole lot of it because there's always a shoot every weekend, thankfully. To Neil's scheduling, I just got to get with nationals next year, Neil, and we got to do the schedule when I'm not working.
Okay. They don't take my phone calls very often, nor do they listen to me when they do. So
one week, one way or the other, and I'd be off.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to start that new job on the 1st, and I won't have any vacation built up. So I think I lucked out of most of my vacation days till, I'll have them built up for next year. But coming in without any, it's like, man, I'm going to hate to miss it, but I'm sure not going to worry about it a couple times a year. But, I shot good at Foley, and I can live with that.
There you go. Yeah, you did. You shot good down there for sure.
Yeah, that was one of them days where we was the salt on the margarita rim. We was in it every direction.
Yeah. The second day I had a good day down there. I don't remember. I think I was finished 14 up that day or something down there, 12 or 14. But
talking there about Choctaw. Heck, we used to call him Wayne. What?
Yeah, that's all I knew him by for years. And everybody's talking about Haskell. I'm like, who's Haskell?
Yeah, exactly. When I got back into it, they kept going. And then when I met, I was like, oh, heck, it's Wayne. We used to call out there Little River, his range out there. We used to call it Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. The range he set up out there, man. Remember, that was one of the better tougher competitive range we ever did back then, too. Yeah.
Yep. Between him and Vaughn, they would kick our butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Vaughn is diabolical. I mean, I've never shot one of his ranges, but just listening to the way he uses the terrain and everything like that. And if you shoot known,
there wasn't no known back then. Everything was judging.
I tell a story on him all the time. We shot up there enough at John's, Well, actually, this wasn't at John's. This was at his, what was it, his brother?
Right here at Wellston.
Yeah. It was at that one.
Yeah.
We shot there a few times and kind of got to know a few of the lanes, you know how it is. And there were some pines, little pines he had planted, and there was a brush pile out there. That brush pile was about 30 yards. So you could kind of always judge depending on where he set the stake off of that brush pile. So we was up there one day. I don't remember, Dave, you may have been with us. I can't remember if he was in our group or not. I know Blaine was. But anyway, we come up to that target, and he had that little pygmy Reinhardt white goat.
Yep.
That'd been the first time we ever seen it. We're used to the big white goat, and we're looking at that thing going, holy moly, how far is it? We're like, well, that brush pile, 30-ish. We all shoot. I think I may have had a nickel on it. I can't remember. It wasn't good, none of us. We get up there, and that guy had moved that brush pile. And I'm not talking about a bitty brush pile. It was a pickup load of stuff. And he had moved that brush pile about 4 or 5 yards on us.
Yep.
And then put that little back there behind it.
Because that's back when Reinhardts were really popular. Remember, he got that little miniature Reinhardt standing bear.
Yep.
And he would use that out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he'd put that dang carp out in the middle of his pond.
Yeah, had that on a rope where it went out the pond, and you should shoot it over the pond. Then you grab the rope, pull that target back to you.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. It's because there's some good ranges around then, for sure.
Yeah,
still is. But back when you was judging, he could make it tough on you.
Yeah,
it's always hard to get a beat on them sometimes.
Exactly.
And just like we both talked when we was up at Trosper, I remember I'd walk up or you'd walk up, we'd glass it and go, man, I'm glad I ain't I'd be 3 to 5 yards off now.
Oh,
every target.
I've been wanting to go back to judging, but we don't have any ranges out here anymore. Nothing to really work on and judge. And I do what you do. I'll walk up there and look at it and try to get an idea. And I keep saying, man, you better stay where you're at.
Exactly. Yeah. I do. I remember watching Vaughn because I didn't know a lot of people shooting back then. I'd kind of stay up with him while I did my downtime. And he was always telling me, yeah, they got courses now. It's half and half. Half judge, half unjudged. And I was like, really? And now a lot of them were all known. And I was like, wow, that was kind of different.
Yeah, I think you got more known classes now than you do unknown.
But how long did they do the 50-50 courses? Do you remember that?
I shot them, but I don't remember how long they done it. But I'm going to say 3 or 4 years or something like that. I'm going to guess maybe 5. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
But in the tour, I was still shooting semi, so I don't think we still have to judge in semi both days. I don't remember them doing the 50-50 on it, but.
Well, Rick, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from your past, running a shop, a very big high-end shop, to shooting today with these bows, what do you think is some of the biggest improvements from our yesterdays to today?
Dave, I think about that quite a bit, and the bows and equipment has no question have changed for the better. But the number one thing I see is information. You can get on here on YouTube, whatever you want, and you can find out how to deal with target panic. You can you can learn how to tune a bow. The stuff we've been talking about,
Yeah.
tilting, time, and doing all that. And I think that's as big or bigger than the equipment.
Okay.
Back in the day when I started, probably when you two, that stuff was pretty tight-lipped.
Yeah.
If you went out to a range and you started getting up there competing with some of these guys that had been doing it, they were pretty quiet around you. they didn't hand out information like it is today.
Yeah.
I enjoy that as much as anything is helping somebody or telling somebody, hey, try this, do this, little tips here and there. But the equipment, yes, it has definitely changed, and it's helped. Used to, that like these younger kids, my gosh, they're shooting some ungodly scores nowadays. And some of them, they shot great back then too, but it wasn't scores like they shoot nowadays. And I think it's a lot of that. It's just the information available.
At a younger age.
From the younger, learn it quicker. They're still young. They pick it up quicker. Stuff like that. Because, I hear guys all the time, how long you been shooting? Oh, I've been shooting for 6 months or a year. And they're right up there competing with.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, good gosh, I shot for 10 years before I ever got to that point. Some of us a little slower than others, but
Yeah, especially back then, if we picked up a back tension, there was no information on how to learn to shoot it. You picked it up and went home and just tried to make it work.
Yeah, if you punch yourself in the mouth or nose for 2 or 3 times, you're like, man, I don't know whether I want to do this or not. But
yeah,
but no, that's what I see is that right there. Of course, like the equipment, the bows and everything's got a lot easier to adjust and work on. Strings has really come a long ways. As far as that stuff moving on you, just get a good quality string anymore. You just don't hardly have any problems with stuff moving. I remember back in the day when the fast light stuff come around, and good grief, it was like shoot it 10 times and work on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking 10 different shoots. I'm talking about 10 arrows.
Yeah. Half the time through the shoots back then, you're like, oh, my peak moved up, my loops moved.
My bow's out. I'm out of time, or it's just the things like that has really come a long ways. Tolerances are a lot tighter.
I think limbs and limb pockets is the biggest thing on the bows. That's changed.
I see some of these real lightweight limb pockets that they're all doing anymore, and some of them work great, and some of them just make me cringe.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that can't be great. There's going to be movement there somewhere. Yeah. That's back in the day, the old Hoyts, had the big old pocket that you about had to drive them in there. Some of them I did have to drive in there, but those limbs weren't moving.
I was shooting the PSEs, and they were 1 limbs at the time on each side or each end. But the pivoting limb pocket was the biggest thing that they came out with, but they still, nothing locked the limb in the pivoting limb pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. But now it's all, all the, like, your releases, for instance, now you got micro adjust on your hinge or on the, all this stuff. You didn't have that. That's making everything a lot easier to make really small micro fine adjustments and get it exactly how you want it. But I don't know, you can go on and on about the changes, but
yeah. So what year did you start shooting?
I shot my first tournament in 1980.
Okay.
Yeah. And back then it was 2D.
Yeah.
There was no 3D. It was just a foam. Actually, I think the very first one, burlap with the cardboard press targets, just burlap animals printed on the burlap.
Yeah.
Was the very first one I shot. Then shortly after that, they got some 2D, and you were shooting through them. You'd have to take lipstick and put a little ring around the arrow, so when it went through the foam, you could see where your arrow was at.
You score.
That's how you scored where your lipstick ring was.
Wow.
But, yeah.
How bad's that get in the summer when that stuff starts melting in the tube?
Lord, yeah. It was pretty ugly. But no, I got into that in 1980. I started bow hunting. Oh gosh, I don't know, 76, I think. My brother-in-law got me into that, and I wanted to get better at bow hunting, just like a lot of people, and that's what got me into target archery. Is I went to 3D shoot, and I was like, man, this is fun, and got into it that way, and just grew and grew, and before I know it, I was hooked. And I shot on and off. Oh gosh, I think, well, when I moved to the city, which was 97, I believe it was, somewhere around there, 96, 97, as I really, really got going in it then, hard and heavy.
Is that about the time Outdoor Outfitters opened?
They opened, I think, in 99, I believe. I was at Fred Baker's first when I moved over there.
Oh, I don't think, I do think I remember you working over there.
I started. That's a funny story. I was young and in between jobs, and me and my dad went over there to do something, and he knew how I was hooked into archery. And I was just working farmhand back in them days, doing what I could do to survive, and had recently got married, and we was at Fred Baker's one day looking around at guns, and they had a sign up for archery help. And Dad was like, hey, why don't you put in an application for that? I said, Dad, I ain't never worked in no store. I said, I don't want to move to Oklahoma City. You couldn't pay me enough to move to Oklahoma City. Before I got out of there, he had me talked into putting in an application. And I got home, the phone was ringing. When do you need to come back for an interview? And I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this. This is getting serious real quick.
That's where I bought my first brand new bow, and I bought it off of Jim Yancey.
Yep. Jim was there before I was.
Yep. Mine was in 90 or 91. It was a PSE. Carroll 3D Intruder is what it was called.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember but that's where I started. I was there about 3.5 years.
Okay.
And Outdoor Outfitters had opened. They'd been open a few months, and they approached me and wanted to know if I would come to work for them, and they'd made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And
yeah,
went over there and grew that business to where we were selling a lot of archery equipment.
Boy, y'all sold a ton of Hoyts, man.
Yeah, we did. And actually, I can't remember the year. That Go bow that's hanging in H&H.
Yes.
That was my premier year right there. We got that. We were the third largest dealer in the nation for Hoyt that year.
Yeah.
And I was selling, no joke. They had a kit bow that year, and I was selling them by the pallets. My boss over at Outfitters come in one day, and there was a pallet of them sitting right out in the middle of the floor. And he's over there looking at all those bows, and he goes, Rick, come here.
He was thinking this, wasn't he?
Yeah, I walked over, and he goes, all these bows are the same. And I said, yeah. What did you order a whole damn pallet full of bows for? And I said, well, Jeff, I had X amount ordered, and they're already gone. I hope you can sell all them. I don't know what we're going to do with all of them. Well, I had 2 more pallets after that.
Yep.
About 2004, the 75th anniversary.
Yep, that was it.
Gold Tricon,
Yep.
Tricon XL.
Yep, that was the year right there. Yep.
Yeah, because I hung out a lot down at 23rd Street there at Gray's.
Right.
And I remember, let's be real, Gray's and Outdoor Outfitters.
Oh, yeah.
The businesses clashed.
Right. No
Yeah.
doubt.
And it was all due to Matthews.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, I remember that whenever they allowed Outdoor Outfitters to sell that, boy, that took old Bobby and it just rolled him up inside and out.
I hated it for him. I mean, I fought the Matthews thing until I finally gave in, but and I'd go over there and shoot indoor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kind of felt like I needed a bulletproof vest on when I walked through the door.
Yep.
No, Bobby, I like Bobby. Bobby was a good guy.
That's where I first met Blaine. He'd come over there and shoot
Yep.
indoors over there, and I was like, yeah.
Yep, no doubt. But yeah, I spent 13 years there at Outfitters, and
Wow.
they sold out and went to H&H, actually, is who they sold out to. And I went to H&H, and I was there about a year roughly. And I think, maybe a year and a half, maybe. And my mom passed away. And so I moved back home to help take care of my dad, and been back here ever since.
Yeah. Who was it? Al. Al was there with you, wasn't he?
Al was with me at Outfitters. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually trained Al, believe it or not. But
Okay. Yeah.
he was my helper, and super good guy. I had great help. Al, and of course Jack Hodgkinson. You remember him? He was kind of like Dan. He was the hangout guy. And he got to where he was there every day helping out, and I was like, Jack, why don't you just start getting a paycheck? What do you mean? I was, well, you're here helping every day. Why don't you just start working up here with me? And he did, of course.
Yep.
We had Blaine helped me some, and Chris Powell had a lot of help. Good help.
I remember Jack telling me this story. Let's hear your story. Or do you remember taking that gold bow you was talking about, and did you ever shoot it?
I don't know where that story's leading, Dave, but there was a gold bow that got a few arrows shot through it.
That happened to be mounted on a plaque?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You at least take it off the plaque first.
I said, yeah, we did take it off the plaque. I said, it's too pretty just to be hanging up there. Of course, Jack, he liked the bling.
Yeah.
Jack was top notch, and I mean, it blinged. If it didn't match the bow, it matched when he got through with it.
Yeah.
His
motorcycles were the same. His cars were the same.
The only man I know cleaned a Harley with a toothbrush, and that's no lie.
Yeah.
Seen it with my own eyes. And then put it on cover it in the garage.
I went over to his house one time when he lived out there at Tri-City. And we walked in through the garage, and I will admit, that was the first time I ever seen a carpeted garage.
You could eat off the floor in that garage, and that is no lie.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well.
Super good guy.
Oh, yeah. Missing.
Sure missing. Big time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Rick, what else you got you want to just share to the world? Because it's just us talking anyway.
Right. I hear you. There's a little tip that I got that I just wanted to share.
Yeah.
Going to Paris, Chris Powell, we talk every day. And he said, you need to go down there and have fun. He said, all it is a spot on a rubber target. He said, put the freaking pin on it and shoot your bow. It's that simple. He said, there's no pressure. Who cares if you miss?
Yeah.
He said, you ain't shooting against nobody but Rick. He said, go down there with that mindset and aim at that freaking spot on that rubber deer and make a good shot. And it worked.
Yeah. It's that simple.
That simple. I run that through my head. I don't know how many times down there.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's just a little simple thing sometimes that, light, whatever helps. It goes off to something that simple.
Yeah. I agree.
We all can shoot and everything else. And I think really and truthfully, it boils down to, like he said, we're worried more about missing than anything else.
And you know what's bad about that little tidbit he gave you there is he will now, if you know Chris at all, folks, he will let Rick know that I gave you that advice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You owe me, buddy.
He's unfortunately his health right now won't let him shoot. He's dying to get back in it. But he's always calling, talking to me, telling me, try this, try that. And You know, because we shot so much together back in the day. That guy, there's no telling how many thousands of arrows that guy watching me send down range, just practicing. Yeah. And in fact, here, I don't know, I think it might have been 2 years ago now, I was struggling. Things wasn't right. And he had bought a bow and he brought it out here and let me help him set it up. And I said, will you come out here and watch me shoot a few arrows? And he said, yeah. Because I mean, like I said, nobody out here shoots target or anything that could look at me and tell me, hey, you're doing this or doing that. You know what I mean? Have to do the old wife behind me video camera thing. And I drew back and I shot one arrow. He goes, what the hell are you doing? And I said, that's why I'm asking you, what am I doing? He said, dude, your draw length's too long. He said, your elbow's plumb back behind your head. And I'm like, really? It's set at 28 and an eighth, Chris, is where I've always shot. He goes, I don't care where you got it set. You're too long. Shorten it up.
Just that simple.
Yeah. Then I shortened it up and it wasn't much. You know, I'm talking 3 or 4 twists on the string.
Yeah.
And started cruising again.
And that's something. That's cool.
He shoot enough arrows to see it that quick.
Yeah. That's
Just stuff
awesome.
like that, you know, that if you got somebody that can watch you shoot arrows, it helps to have a buddy around like that can look and see. And I got to feeling a little bit long. That was right before I went to Paris. I went to Choctaw one day there and shot a few arrows, me and Richard Bradford, and started getting a little tired at the end. And I thought, man, I'm feeling long. And Chris Hammond was there practicing. And I said, Chris, you start getting a little tired, you feel a little bit long or anything like that? And he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, if you're doing that, you probably ought to shorten it up a little bit, which I knew. I already had that in my head when I got home. I put 3 twists in my string when I got home.
Wow.
And just that little bit amount. Now I'm pulling hard into I've got something to pull.
Yeah.
I was just too far extended. I didn't really have anything left to
know where to go with it.
Right. Just 3 twists is all it took.
Yeah.
And started shooting good again for me, aiming even better too.
Huh.
So
that's
sometimes, like we say, it's just the little bitty things that we miss. You know, we've all tuned bows and everything else. We can tune them and all that. That ain't the problem. It's just the little bitty simple stuff here and there we overlook once in a while.
Yep.
But
say Rick Gilly's that way. He's 70 something years old and he's still changing his draw length. And I was like, Ricky,
he changes his all the time. I talk to Rick every now and then too. And I was bad about it. I'm still kind of slowed down now that I got the bow kind of shooting where I wanted. I'm not messing with stuff near as much, but yeah, he changes all the time. But if you're not trying, you're backing up. That's what I say too. You know, you never know what you might find that clicks and works. But once I get a baseline,
I agree.
Other thing, real quick from my verdict. When I set this new bow up, I set my peep height the same as I did the verdict. They're almost the same bow. There's just a hair difference. But I kept shooting and shooting and shooting. Man, I just felt like I was having to duck down into that peep so much. And you know what? You're not comfortable. What are you doing? So I done just the old close your eye, draw back thing. I usually set my peep at 35 yards because it's kind of our mid-range where I try to set my peep height at. And I went out there and closed my eyes and done the old drawback. Well, hell, I'm looking from over the top of the peep.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going, what are you doing? You've done this long enough. You know better than that. And,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Slid my peep up a 1/4 inch and, it's just that simple. It's just.
Well, cool. Well, Rick, we better let you go, man. I'm sure you got something that you can do. If nothing else, go shoot.
That's exactly what I'm going to be doing when we get off of here. Got to go shoot a little bit. And I got one more night left on the old night shift. And then I'll be off for 7 days, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll be back anything.
Well, I got to get off here, and I'm sure I got to go put some ice on my shoulder.
Yeah, man. I hope good luck with that. I hope you get healed up. I'm glad to see you out there.
It'll take time.
Back out there. It's awesome to see you and keep pushing me.
Is that right?
I know you're coming.
I don't know how far up I'm coming on you, but dude, I'm shooting. That's all I can tell you.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Get out there, enjoy it with us. We got a great group and have a lot of fun doing it. And
yeah.
And glad to have you and glad to see you out there, like I said.
You bet.
For sure.
Well, we'll see everybody this weekend at Bartlesville, 10 a.m. shotgun start Saturday and Sunday.
Awesome. I want to thank Elite Archery. Give a big shout out to Nathan Brooks and Blake Kidder for putting up with me.
And
all the
by
things,
the Elite and Ultra Arrows, right?
Ultra Arrows, yep. That they've got, TOG, they've got all that.
Oh, yeah.
They carry CBE, Scott releases, and all that. But I want to give a big shout out and thank you to those guys for sure.
Absolutely. Yep. You got a athlete's page or anything like that you?
No, it's just
Okay.
regular Facebook, Rick Archer. I'm pretty plain.
All right.
Anybody can holler at me anytime. I'll be glad to visit.
We can ship equipment to you, let you tune it, and you'll ship it back.
Heck yeah, why not?
BR549.
I'm willing to help anybody any way I can.
Will. All right, Rick. Thank you very much. I enjoyed the conversation.
Guys, thank you, Rick. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.